Dreamcast guy, and Final Fantasy is dead all because of Sony.
In this video with a short story about my history with video games.
What about the history of Sega?
Specifically, I became obsessed with Final Fantasy almost.
What about Time Stalker, Skies of Arcadia, Evolution, Phantasy Star? What about these Sega games, man? Like, it's crazy that you haven't made a video talking about Sega yet, bro. But yet you was out here representing the hat, man. Come on, man. Like, what is this dude doing? Shining Force? Legend of Oasis? Bro, what is you talking about, bro? Oh, Final Fantasy, you know, I can't believe Sony killed one of my favorite franchises. Oh.
24 years ago. 25 years ago at this point.
Which would be the Sega Dreamcast anniversary, something that you're not talking about, but go ahead.
But in September of 1999,
here we go, man. Did he just say September 9, 1999? You're talking about when the Sega Dreamcast launched? You gotta be kidding me, man. You know what, bro? We should be talking about House of the Dead. You know, we should be talking about these games. We should be talking about how Soul Calibur has so much influence upon you as a Sega Dreamcast fan. But no, we're talking about Final Fantasy, a game that you probably more likely played on the PlayStation 1, bro. For real. You know what? I mean, at this point, remove the Dreamcast hat from your head, bro. More like Sony fan guy.
Best friend's house. Nick, he's still my best friend now. We've been best friends for our entire lives. And we were little kids. At the time, we were super obsessed with Spyro the Dragon and Crash Bandicoot.
What about Sega? This man is... Yo, come on, man. Paris was right about you, bro, man. You out here doing it for the funds, bro. Like, I get it. You got to pay your bills, man. But come on, bro. For real? Out here naming PlayStation game titles, which is even more funny because those games are owned by Microsoft.
One day he said, "We want to see an adult game." And he got out Final Fantasy VII. FF8 had just come out recently, and apparently he tried to play it and it was too confusing. So he decided, okay, if that was too tough, let's begin with its predecessor, which was 7. So we sat down and we played it. Like and subscribe. Doesn't seem to know what it is or who it's for. A much deeper problem.
Wrong. I just love hitting that button, man. You want to sit there and say, this has been going on since the beginning of time, bro. Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy 11, Final Fantasy 12, Final Fantasy 13. How many times have they divided the Final Fantasy community, man? Like, you got the old school fan that don't like 10. You got the old school fan that actually likes 10, that doesn't care too much about 11, 12, or 13. You have ones that just like the online. And now you have ones that like Zodiac Age, the black sheep of the franchise. You even got people that like 13. Matter of fact, we even got people that like 15, but don't like the previous games because it has more influence in action. And then you got people that just don't like this game altogether. Okay? This game has the Concord treatment. Who was this game catered to? People that play Devil May Cry? Because this doesn't even appeal to any of the other previous Final Fantasy games that Square has ever made. Okay? And the reason why I say that, because 16 wasn't really an RPG. That's why. At least with those games, 11, 10, 7, and 12, and 13, even 15, they played like a RPG game. You see? So people have always looked at Final Fantasy. I mean, this is supposed to be the Mario of RPGs. And for this game to fail just goes to show you that anybody can get it. It don't matter if you've been successful for 20 to 30 plus years, bro. You can fail in an instant. I mean, just ask Sony.
But the franchise is its platform exclusivity deals. So all these...
Nope, because people got used to playing their games on the 360 and the PS3. Okay? I mean, at that point, once Square has introduced that, making a game like this exclusive is only going to hurt their business model. That's why I don't know why they did this Sony deal with the PlayStation 5, because people got used to playing their games everywhere. It is what it is, man. That's why they got it on the Vita, the Switch, the PS4, PS3, PS2. You know, they got these games everywhere. You know, so once Square decided to make that decision of putting their games multi-plat, people got used to it. It is what it is, man. And what's even more funny, I thought you PlayStation gamers support Japanese games, and yet for some reason you didn't support 16 or Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
For the last couple years, there have only been exclusive Final Fantasy stuff on PlayStation.
Bruh. You know, man, I swear, bro, I pushed this button so hard I can't even hit the button no more, man. You know, it's like that red switch you see on Mario 64 when Mario jumps on it. Bro, what are you talking about, bro? What do you mean, bro? They had Final Fantasy 11 on the 360. Bro, ever since the 360 came out, that's when Final Fantasy decided to say, hey, you know what? We're going multi-platform. What are you talking about, bro? That was several, 15, 17, 18, maybe 18 years ago? Come on, man. I mean, you was out here capping.
Eventually, the games come to PC, but they're not coming to Xbox. They're not coming.
So we're going to sit there and act like the Xbox did not get Final Fantasy 13. And we're going to sit there and act like Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2 is not on Xbox. Or we're going to sit here and act that the Lost Odyssey, a game that was made specifically by Square themselves as an exclusive for the 3. Are we going to Last Remnant? How about that game? Are you serious, bro? You're going to sit there and act like Square had no inspiration to make games on Xbox, bro? Like, if we're talking about the original Xbox, then yes. But if we're talking about the Xbox 360 going onward, you don't know what you're talking about. And what's even more funny, Square was even planning to put Final Fantasy VII on the N64, but since it had cartridge limitations, they decided to put it on the PlayStation 1. Matter of fact, Final Fantasy VII was also going to get a port to the Sega Saturn. See, these are things that you people don't really know about, but Sony published the game, so at that point, they're like, okay, Sony's publishing our games. They're essentially putting our games on their platform without charging us, so we might as well just put the games here.
To the Switch.
It was just convenient for them. That's all it was, and then at that point, Sony had the most hardware sales, so it's just easy for Square to make the decision, like, okay, we're just going to make all these games here.
If you want to play Final Fantasy, especially the latest and greatest stuff like FF7 Remake.
Oh, and I apologize, guys. My bad. What about the Nintendo gamers? I'm sorry. I completely forgot y'all. They're like, what about us? I mean, yeah. I mean, what are you talking about, bro? You act like Square was always making Final Fantasies for PlayStation. That is not true. If anybody's more entitled to this argument, it's the Nintendo fan because that's where it started.
Final Fantasy 16, you have to have a PlayStation. And now...
Oh, that ain't the case anymore.
Everybody is kind of getting mixed on it. Now, I want to make it clear, I still love Final Fantasy. My favorite things of all time.
Yeah, what about Skies of Arcadia, bro? What about Sega Dreamcast games, bro? Because I'll argue with anybody. Skies of Arcadia is way better than Final Fantasy VII. Fight me, bruh. Fight me, bruh. Fight me, bruh. Bro, you're not a Sega fan, bro. Like, how you gonna sit there and say stuff like this, and you're supposed to be one of the biggest Sega enthusiasts, and you out here liking Final Fantasy VII over Skies of Arcadia? Bro, get out of here.
Final Fantasy and Resident Evil, but whereas Resident Evil has found its new place,
Let's be honest, bro. You're not a Dreamcast fan, man. Like, what made you think that you would put a Dreamcast hat on your head, even though all you do is talk about PlayStation 1 game titles, bro? You clearly had a PlayStation 1. That's why you bought this game, Final Fantasy VIII, late, because you couldn't afford it to buy the game like everybody else did when it first came out. You had a PlayStation 1, bro. Just be honest. You did not have a Dreamcast growing up, man. You are exposing yourself.
Capcom continues to be bigger and more profitable. It does seem like Square Enix has managed to kind of spoil the fun of Final Fantasy that a lot of the
No, because they divided their game in so many different compartments that people weren't going for it with 16. Because as much as people might have differences between 15, 10, 13, they're still RPG games. They still have that template. But when you look at 16, you're like, what is this? A hack and slash Devil May Cry game? And all the people went, oh, it's not a Devil... Bro, they literally have the Devil May Cry director working on it. Like, right there's enough proof to be like, yeah, this is definitely not an RPG.
The diehards have kind of fallen off, even if, in my opinion, the game's quality is still good.
But the gameplay is not the same.
However, I believe that
That's like Mario going from being a platformer to... Well, I mean, Mario he is in a bunch of different genres, sports and, whatever. Mario's just doing his thing, man. You could put Mario in anywhere and he's successful. I guess Sony don't have that type of power.
7 is a good template for this solution. Keep building on the set identity of the franchise.
All Square can do is remakes. That's it. Remake 8, 9, 10, 13. This is all they can do now at this point, because as of right now, I don't think most people are going to support a new Final Fantasy, because this is another thing too. And this is what I liked about Final Fantasy, that every time you picked up a new Final Fantasy, it was a different cast of characters, different type of gameplay, different aspects. It was something new that you could look forward to. But now we live in an era where people want the same things. So like I said, Final Fantasy 8, 9, 10 remake, 13 remake. They're probably going to skip over Zodiac Age because it's kind of the black sheep of the series. But there's, like I said, the Final Fantasy franchise has been severely divided.
It's time to go back to the roots, go back to turn-based, having a variety.
Bro, that's not going to work, bro. Final Fantasy going back to turn-based ain't going to work, man.
Of party members.
Y'all really believe this? Come on, man.
A great, compelling story.
This possibly can't be real.
Final Fantasy VII had amazing stories that made me feel. I like it because a lot of about quality more than anything else.
It's not that 16 is a bad game quality-wise. It's pretty reasonable. The fact is that it's not an RPG.
They're not bad games. I don't think anybody who's
But they're not RPGs.
Played 16
Do we all agree?
Could say that it's a bad game.
Nobody's
you
arguing.
Can possibly say it's not for you or not your style, but I think a lot of people are saying that it is weird to see that the game, even if it was good, it wasn't good enough.
No, it just wasn't what the Final Fantasy community wanted. What do you people don't understand, bro? 16 is not a Japanese RPG. Bro, you know what, man?
I think a lot of people that are against FF16, I think the most vocal haters of it are not anti-Sony people. It's not Xbox guys saying it sucks because it's a PlayStation exclusive. I think it's interesting that what is actually killing PlayStation, or what's actually killing Final Fantasy, is the fans of Final Fantasy. This is
because the Final Fantasy fans wanted to pick up the game for an RPG. That's like you picking up a Pokemon game, instead of it being a turn-based RPG, it's something completely else. It's a whole different genre. Now, I know people have done that. Capcom has dabbled in that with a lot of their IPs, but still, a lot of them consider them spin-offs, and they still had their mainline titles, right? Now, when Final Fantasy does this with new storylines, new characters, or whatever have you, I don't think that appeal works nowadays. I think people want comfortable, similar experiences of what they played. Because back then it worked. The director was like, hey, we do different stories for each different game. That's what spices up the Final Fantasy universe. But nowadays, y'all are attached to the Cloud universe. You're attached to Pacific universes. And that's the problem with gaming. Y'all, the days of, we get the value. Look at the Zodiac Age and different storylines with different characters. This is a brand new title. No, y'all don't want that. Y'all want a new title with the same exact similarities of the previous game. That's what y'all want. Because all Final Fantasy did was copy Kingdom Hearts.
Sky Prince, he's predominantly a Final Fantasy YouTuber. It does live streams and stuff.
I thought he was a JRPG enthusiast.
Very, very good guy. He does all sorts of cool deep dives on the series. And he's also really been chiming in on this over the course of the last couple of days.
But the funny thing is, it's so funny that a lot of these I'm not questioning Night Sky Prince in regards to his RPGs. All I'm saying is that none of these dudes, man, they can't throw out something and be like, oh, that's shock value. You know what I mean? Everybody's talking about, we got Tales of Rise, Tales of Symphonia. Oh, you know what I'm saying? And then you're just that one random guy to come in and be like, yo, what's up, man? What you like? Skies of Arcadia. Whoa! What the? Yeah. What other games, man? I love that game, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, what y'all talking about? We're talking about, that new Tales of Arise, man. Yo, I was playing Legend of Legaia. Woo! Oh my God! When you hear a person like that talk, you're like, oh, this dude mean business. But when you got these people, all they do is mention the same game. Tales of Arise, Persona 5. These are the same people that think Persona birthed Shin Megami Tensei. They think Shin Megami Tensei is the spin-off game. These people are ridiculous, man. When it's really Persona. You know what I'm saying? These are the same fools that think Persona 5 is the first game that they made. Come on, man. Like, I can't take y'all seriously.
Done a lot of big tweet threads, but this is one that really jumped out at me. You can't force people to like Square Enix demo disc. Even stuff like this. It's wild that within the span of 4 years, we got Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah, there's no Bushido Blade there. Like I said, I mean, they even had that other game, Guys. Come on, bruh. What was that other one that Square had too? The Iron Hander. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but like, yo, they had games, man. Like, I mean, at that point, bro, Square was unstoppable, bro. Like, they had so many great games, man. Threads of Fate was incredible, bro. This is trash, bro. Like, the Square that you guys get today sucks.
Chrono Trigger, Second Densetsu 3, Secret of Evermore, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy Tactics, Mario RPG, Xenogears, Parasite Eve, Tobal number 1. My point
and there's a lot of games missing there. A lot.
The fact that I almost think that what originally made FF so good, what made Final Fantasy so special, and I say this as a person that not
it's because it was mainstream. A lot of people didn't play RPGs until after this game. Well, it's nice to see. Yep, and there you go, Saga Frontier. Yep, Bushido Blade. Actually, that was on the tip of my tongue.
Only grew up with it, but has had a chance to talk to
Final Fantasy VII is the reason why Final Fantasy is the way it is. It actually ruined Final Fantasy. It's a great game. I enjoyed it when it came out, but it actually ruined Final Fantasy because that's what people want. And if you really think about it, Final Fantasy isn't really that impressive all because of this one mainstream title. I'm sorry.
On the ground, in person, even during the fervor days of it, it was the fantasy is that you need to know 10 years of backlog, 15 years of backlog to even appreciate current stuff.
No, you don't, because Final Fantasy was designed in a way where if a person plays the game, they can enjoy the experience. You don't have to go back and play a previous game. That's why all Final Fantasies have different stories. Bro, what are you talking about, bro? See, this is where there's a huge divide about how he speaks about things and how I speak. Like, how am I for example, right, with Final Fantasy, do I need to play Final Fantasy 3 to understand Final Fantasy 7? No, because they both have different stories. Do I have to play 8 to understand 9? Do I have to play 9 to understand 10? Do I have to play 10 to understand 12? Do I have to play 12 to understand 13? No, I don't. Now, they do have a few spin-off games in some of these franchises, but you don't have to play the older game to understand the new one, because Final Fantasy was not designed like that. You big dummy.
There are basically no new fans of Final Fantasy. The amount of people that are approaching it now are either the people that played it back in the day or people that just kind of stumble into it. There's very, very, very few just tiny, completely fresh Final Fantasy fans, and that's not a good thing if you're trying to keep existing. People can pick up any Resident Evil and instantly play it, instantly love it, instantly understand it. Whereas
because Resident Evil is casual.
Final Fantasy.
I'm sorry, I like Resident Evil, man, and I'm gonna be the first to tell you that Resident Evil is casual, bro. Their whole audience is casual. These are the same people that enjoy the movies but don't play the games. I mean, the Resident Evil community, as much as I respect and love them, they're bad, bro. They accept mediocrity. You know, these are the same people that say Resident Evil Outbreak is not canon when it is. You're just not playing. If the game don't have Leon or Chris Redfield, they think the game's not canon. Like, what do you dummies don't understand, bro? Even Resident Evil Survivor is canon. All these games that you guys call spin-offs in regards to Resident Evil is canon within the Resident Evil universe. You guys do understand this, right? Oh, no, they spin-offs. No, because, why? Because you're not playing as Leon? Like, are you stupid? And what's even more funny, Resident Evil 4 don't even have to exist as a game, and it doesn't even progress the story. That's how bad that game is. Like, you play Resident, and the funny thing, that is people's favorite. As much as y'all bash on Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 5 actually pushes the story. Resident Evil 4, it ended the story. Oh, well, we don't know what happened to Umbrella. The end. Now go save the president's daughter. That's it. It's a whole new storyline there, baby. There ain't no continuation of what happened with Leon waiting for that train and Jill Valentine escaping Raccoon City. There ain't no continuation with that besides what you have with Code Veronica.
Definitely has a bit of a learning curve, but she said this.
I don't care, bro. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. Like I said, take care. Peace out.